What's good, Sooner Nation? It is that time of the year where we're going to start getting all the early predictions. You got your early top 25s. Of course, they're all way too early because it's only, May. But we got those. We've also got some early lines. Now, this one we're going to talk about today. DraftKings dropped some early lines for Sooner games. They gave us about 7. 6 of them matters because the 7th one is Temple, and we're like 39.5-point favorites in that game. So hopefully we cover that spread similar to what we did with Arkansas State, but that's neither here nor there. The most important ones are going to be these SEC games, and I'm going to be honest. Your boy's a little shocked that there's a level of disrespect here that I did not expect. So we're going to dive into that and look at these numbers. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. All right, let's take a gander at these lines that I was telling you about so that you all can lose your mind like I did. Nah, I didn't lose my mind, but I did take note. So I grabbed my Bugs Bunny gift, looked down, made note of all of these because it's kind of fascinating to see what everyone thinks of us. And this is what Vegas thinks right now, right? Of course, initially, we're 7.5 wins is our win total. I hammered the over on that because I think we're going to shock a lot of teams because of how Brent Venables built his squad. Vegas knows things, but Vegas isn't always right. There's certain things to keep your eyes out for, and I'm sensing that this could be trap-wise because of the 10-win season going to 7.5, but we're moving into a new conference. So I feel like the trap is everybody's going to take the under and be like, oh, they're not ready for this. And Vegas wants more under money. So we'll see what it looks like. But let's look at these spreads real quick because I'm fascinated. I got 7 games, all SEC. Yeah, all SEC games. And let's see what's going on. First up, you got yourselves the Tennessee game, which is the home game. First SEC game in Oklahoma history. And we play Tennessee at the crib. We come in as 5-point favorites. That made sense to me, right? I think that was a good number to put out there for us. Tennessee still has questions just like we do, but I think most of our questions are answered except for offensive line. They just got to prove themselves on the field, right? Defensive line, we got Dominic Williams. I think that kind of pacifies a lot of questions. We did pick up Branson Hickman, but at the same time, offensive lines are different. They still need to gel. But getting Dominic as well as Jermaine Lole, to me, kind of jumps us up on the defensive line front. Honestly, it just jumps us up defensively, period. I think the defense is going to be 100% solid, bringing back 79% of production, and then adding 2 dudes that have played a lot of football, plus Des Malone in the secondary, played a lot of football. To me, there's no concerns there at defense anymore. I think we're good. So that one makes sense. Traveling to Auburn -3, I was a little shocked that we would get that much respect. I'm not going to lie. But Auburn still has a lot of quarterback questions. They cycled through a few, and we really don't know who's going to run things there. Now, granted, they probably named a starter yet. I haven't looked, but it's not a household name yet. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of why I didn't go look yet before this video, because that's kind of the point. No household name. Tennessee has one. You got Nico Iamaleava, and that is the dude that we're expecting to be out there. Bama has theirs. LSU has theirs. Still questions behind them, but they exist. Auburn doesn't have that yet, and so we'll see what they look like coming up. Now, for me, it was like, okay, Auburn -3, good respect. Now, we're 8.5-point dogs against Texas. They love Texas. The media loves Texas. And this is a tradition as old as the game itself. Loving Texas, and does Texas live up to expectations? I'm curious to see how that goes. But I'll be honest, I think by the Tennessee game, a lot of these lines are going to shift. But I'm curious to see how this Texas line shifts based upon how Texas starts their season. They should start the season fine. I mean, they play Michigan in Ann Arbor, but Michigan should be depleted. But if Michigan's too physical for them, then we'll have some conversations. But I digress. That line is interesting. Not as interesting because it's not as interesting because I don't believe it's going to stick. I think that one's going to change. It'll probably get closer to a field goal on that one. Texas is most likely going to be the favorite until, we prove ourselves, which we have to do every year, and that's fine. This Ole Miss one, I feel like it's a little disrespectful, right? I mean, Jackson Dart's cool. We know Jackson Dart. We wanted him at quarterback when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. We've also synced Jackson Dart, and I don't know what makes me feel like Jackson Dart's going to be doing that much to everybody. I don't think 6 is a fair number. I think closer to 4 would have been fair. I think 4 would have been more fair. Because I think this game is a lot easier of a matchup. The Missouri one at 4, that's what Ole Miss should have been. But Missouri at +4, come on, guys. Are we really going to do this? I mean, +4 is crazy. And I think what's wild to me is when I see these spreads and then, you know, what we saw Oklahoma do against Texas last season and how they came out ready, prepared. Do we think that Oklahoma's not going to be doing the 49 sit-up type setup in preparation for the SEC? Do we think that Oklahoma's not going to go out there and want to rip the throats of everybody in the SEC? Come on, guys. I think that's the thing that bothered me the most about seeing this, is that it doesn't seem like the respect for Oklahoma going into the conference and being prepared is given. And that's fine. If they don't feel like Oklahoma's ready for it, if they think that Oklahoma still needs to do some things to get themselves ready, that's fine. That's cool. But I promise you this, I don't see Oklahoma. Those spreads are the Missouri and Ole Miss one being on the road. If they were closer to even, I'd probably agree more. Right? If I need 3. Missouri should be no more than 2. I think that they're both inflated by about 2 points, but we'll prove ourselves. Then you have the next ones that popped up. You have Alabama. That A is kind of hard to see. I need to redo that graphic. But Alabama looks like they're a 1.5 point favorite coming to Norman. And then going to LSU, we are 5-point dogs. So we're a dog at home against Alabama, and we're a dog on the road against LSU. Now, that's going to be end of the season. Those 2 lines will change because then we'll have a better understanding of what each team is. You know, Alabama's getting Kellen DeBoer, new head coaching staff, and then LSU's got a new quarterback, and they don't have a defensive line. They have to figure out. I mean, we were in competition with them for Dominic Williams. So when you look at this one, I'm just like, okay, is this what we're doing? Do we really believe that LSU is just that much better than Oklahoma? I don't see it. Again, after what we did against Texas, I think that we deserve a little bit more respect than what we're receiving, but it's okay. We've got a lot to prove. We've got a lot to show, a lot to explain to folks that, you think Oklahoma's a slouch? Baby, we not. And we ready to go up against y'all. So looking at those spreads, kind of want to give y'all thoughts. Hop in the comments, let your boy know your thoughts. How y'all feeling about Oklahoma going into the SEC? How you think about them spreads? Which ones do you think is ridiculous, right? But remember, these are early. We still got time to see what happens. If you made it this far, like the content, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Love for you to join this family of college football fans talking OU football, college football in general, having a blast and doing it. So, all right, got more videos popping up. We'll be talking about these way too early top 25s. Joe Klatt's got one. USA Today dropped one. We're going to go through both of those at the end of the week. And, we'll talk soon. Peace.